Awesome. All right. Welcome to our Feb 18th Start Strong call. So excited to have everybody on tonight. My name is Leah Schitter, and I'm a National Marketing Director. You'll get to hear a little bit about my story in just a moment. But I am just glad that you have invested your time tonight to honestly either set yourself up for a really strong start in your business, or maybe a restart, or maybe you're on here because you're wanting to multiply a team of people that are starting really strong in their business. So make sure you grab a pen and paper, take some notes as you follow along. You're in the presence of a lot of other amazing leaders that are a part of running this call. We have a group of NMDs that share in leading this together because we really want to invest in each other's growth. And I'm super excited because I've really never been a part of another company where people who are not financially connected to one another actually come together to share resources, sharpen each other, help each other's teams grow. It's such an amazing picture of what our culture represents. And we have a huge, huge heart for everyone who starts this business to be able to see that what you have is something amazing in your hands, even if you haven't realized it yet. And the beautiful thing is that everyone who starts this business is a business owner, and you get to choose what you want out of this. And that could be, I want to offset my costs, or I want to go all the way. Or if you're anything like me, that's going to morph and change along the way, as it has for me throughout this journey. So one more time, just make sure that you are muted out if you happen to have background noise. And if you're anything like me, you typically do when you're listening in on calls. So it's all good. We just want to make sure that everybody can hear. So no matter where you guys are that have joined us tonight on that spectrum of your own personal goals or what you're wanting to get out of this, maybe you're in the process of figuring that out. What we want to make sure we emphasize to you is that this is a true and legitimate business, and there's a ton of potential with it. So you get to choose what you want to put in and take from this opportunity, and your sponsor is going to guide you. So we guide you, but we don't create your goals for you, and that's going to be something that you get to develop and create over time. So the reality in this business is that it's 80% mindset and 20% skill set. So our focus on this call tonight is going to be primarily the 80% mindset piece. It's a huge part of what affects our success on this journey, no matter what our goal is, whether that's covering our cost or whether it's earning a significant stream of income. So we're going to address it by sharing 3 success elements in our business. And before we jump into that, let's just briefly address the 20% skill set that I mentioned. So one of the number one tools, if you have your pen and paper, that you're going to want to take a look at when you're getting started is a website called thefreedomrevolution.com. So on this website is an actual getting started link that has a password, all lowercase, revolution, that you can go through to set you up in the basics of our business. And you can go on your own pace, take a look at those. There's 10 videos. And once you do that, you'll meet up with your sponsor and be prepared for what the next steps are. So that website and those training videos, honestly, are going to train you in the skills that you're going to use, forever in this business. I've been a part of this business for 10 years, and I still get a lot out of watching those. So I think the emphasis here is that this really is a simple system that can work for anybody, no matter what walk of life you're from. So just really quickly about me, so you guys know a little bit about my story. I actually began consuming Juice Plus 10 years ago in the midst of a health crisis. I was introduced to it at a fitness center by a total stranger, but it fit my philosophy of what I believed that my body needed, which was I didn't need more vitamins. I needed more whole food, but I also realized after lots of intentional effort how difficult it was to get enough whole foods, particularly fruits and vegetables, every day. So the fact that Juice Plus was food, that it was a simple concept, it was literally fruits and vegetables. There's nothing faddish about fruits and vegetables. They've been they've been important. They were important hundreds of years ago. They'll be important 100 years from now. That was very appealing to me because I knew that what I first wanted to do to address my health issues is to make sure that I was doing really well in the basics. And this is a core basic that I was not doing well in. So I began this journey actually not just as a customer, but as a representative at the same time, purely because my husband and I were right out of college and we just had zero margin. And I mean zero in our budget every month. We were just getting our feet under us. And so in order for me to even say yes to the product, I needed to be able to cover my cost. And I knew that the company had a really simple way to do that by sharing with a few other people. And I thought, okay, that makes sense. It's just fruits and vegetables. I knew I'd end up telling my closest friends and family about it anyway. And so the cool thing is that those people that started with me 10 years ago still consume it to this day because of everything it's done for their health. Not to mention our health began to transform, and we are now an asthma and allergy-free home. We've had 3 healthy babies in pregnancies and coming out of a situation where we were really concerned about infertility. And we've only had 1 antibiotic in our home in the 8 years we've had kids, not to mention I have more energy today with 3 kids, and I'm not a caffeinated mom than I had 10 years ago with no kids and dealing with chronic fatigue. And so our story is just totally different now. The biggest unexpected blessing has been this business because it gave me an opportunity to not only leave the corporate world eventually and be a fully present mama at home, which was always my dream. I always wanted to have little ones and be able to do that. But it gave me a purpose beyond the 4 walls of our home as well that I could invite my kids into with me. So it's a mission and a purpose that's bigger than us that we get to do together, and that actually earns more income than I earned in the corporate world, working a full-time job that now I get to work a flexible, part-time, design your own life opportunity. So that's why I get so excited about sharing with people the possibilities with this business, because I never in a million years would have thought I would be here sharing that story today. So like I said, anybody can start with that initial desire to maybe cover their costs, but always be open. If you're on here tonight, be open about, well, what more might there be for me? Because really the only limit to where we go in this journey are the limits that we put on ourselves. And so the journey of building that strong mindset around these 3 elements that we're going to be sharing helped me really picture and experience true growth in my business and helping other people. Because prior to that, I really was living small in a lot of ways and diminishing my potential. And if you're on here tonight and you know that maybe you've done that in your own life, or maybe you're here to restart your business, you're not alone. And I've had my own obstacles and doubts along the way. You're in good company simply by showing up and being here. So let's jump into the first element of success, which is desire. And we speak about desire in 2 chapters, if you will. So the first part of desire, the first chapter is self. So this is your oxygen mask. When you're on the plane, they make sure, if you're traveling with a child, that you know to put your oxygen mask on before you assist other people. That is the same concept here, determining your own hunger, the fire in your belly. What makes you excited about being a part of changing other people's lives, making other people's lives better? Why is this mission something you're excited to be a part of? And what is it in you that just lights up about that? And that's such a core part of you being successful. And it's not something anybody else can give you. It comes from you, and it becomes a part of your journey. And it's always going to be uniquely connected to your story and who you are. And to the best of your ability, we want to encourage you to think about a dollar amount, if you've got your pen and paper, that you want to be making in the next 6 months. And maybe that seems strange to some people. I know that was a little bit challenging for me to do in the beginning. But once I realized that my paycheck grows as a direct reflection of the amount of people that we were helping, it became easier and more exciting to think about a dollar amount that I wanted to earn, not only because I knew the difference it was going to make for my family. It was easy for me to say, I'm not about the money. And then like in the next sentence, we're talking about the financial needs that we had. So doesn't, having a financial goal does not mean that you're making it all about money. Really shifting that perspective to seeing that, putting yourself in a healthy position to help other people is actually a very loving thing to do. And so hopefully you've had a chance to maybe write down a number as I've been talking that would be meaningful to you. This is something you can take back to your sponsor and have a conversation about, because we have very concrete ways that we help people understand how to get to certain income levels, because pictures are important, and getting that really concrete in your mind is going to be valuable. And the dollar figure is always going to connect back to your own self-worth. So what do you believe that you're worth financially? That's a huge factor that determines how far you go in terms of income level in this business. So it's helpful. I mean, this is something I am constantly working on growing in continually, because you always want to expand what you believe you're worth financially, because this business can really help support any kind of goal. So keep in mind that money is just a transfer of energy. So it's going to make you more of who you already are. And the beauty of a company like this is that we really attract such servant-hearted people that most people say, it's not about the money, it's about the people. And we know that. We know it's about the people, otherwise you wouldn't be here. So rather than thinking the money doesn't matter, consider that even if you don't need it, somebody does. And so if you have it, you're going to be able to channel it to people that do need it. And that's another way of investing in people. So it's a very noble part of what we get to do, and has certainly changed our family's life reality in tremendous ways. There's no way I'd be a stay-at-home mom right now, homeschooling and spending my days with my daughters and bringing them into a mission of serving other people, because I would still be in the corporate grind, unfortunately, with somebody telling me how many vacation days I had every year to spend with my kids. So let's move on to chapter 2 of desire, which is helping others. So this is where you want to think about your personal pain. So what is your struggle? What purpose led you to this? Because that's going to give you clues as to what your desire and hunger are. And it's going to help you connect with other people that have that similar pain. Those are the primary people that you want to focus on connecting with, especially initially, because they're going to resonate with you and with your pain. Because what we know is that people will buy from those they like, know, and trust. So when you resonate with someone, you're building that relationship and that trust, and then they buy you and your why, which is the reason it's so critical to get clear on the pain this mission is relieving in your life. So, and even if you don't feel like you have a big why, you have me or somebody else on here or a sponsor who does, and you can share their story until you have your own. So for me, my pain was, number one, I was too sick to even be able to think about having the future that I desired to have. And number two, I longed to be a mom and to be able to choose, to be present with my little ones and not have someone else tell me how much time I could get with them. And in my current reality at the time, there was no way that would have been a possibility unless something changed. So that was my pain. And then eventually, as those things began to shift and change because of the opportunities this business brought into my life, my pains became wanting a bigger purpose, a bigger meaning, and something that I could be a part of to make a difference in the world. And that it began to then meet that part of my pain and my story and my desire. So you kind of get the idea here. You can be exploring what that is for you. So consistency is the second element to success. So first we talked about desire in the 2 chapters, and now number 2 is consistency. And, I don't know how many of you have seen inside of a business, how many people you've seen do a business like this and consistently stick with it. And usually we would say not that many. If you're clear about this being something you want to step into and be a part of, be all in, whatever that looks like for you, because people are watching your journey. It doesn't mean you have to do this full time. Most people totally do this as a side gig. But these 5 steps that we're going to share with you really stick with these elements of community, because people they're paying attention more than we realize, and consistency will be the number one thing that speaks volumes to people that are watching your journey as the months go by, because it communicates how committed you are. So the 5 areas are what we call high paying activities that we want to encourage you to focus on consistency in. The first one, and I'm going to mention these actually very briefly, they'll be expounded upon in just a minute in the second part of the call. So the first one, social media, living your life through social media posts. It doesn't mean that you're blasting the brand name on, your social media page or treating it like a billboard. What you're doing instead is creating curiosity, which builds credibility with people. So you're never telling the full story, because you want people to wonder. So you're creating the trailer, not the movie, so that it's intriguing to people and they want to know that what you're a part of. Secondly, conversation and relationship building. So this is not prospecting. People can sense when you're hunting. It's about getting to know people and quite frankly, just being human, creating friendships, loving on the people around you. We're meant for relationships. It's one of the most beautiful, awesome things about what we get to do in this. This business has taught me how to be a better friend, you guys, which has been such a gift. So consider a little action step here to challenge yourself to be 5% more interested in the people around you this week, and maybe kind of journal how that goes for you. So number 3 is events. And there's really 2 parts to this. We'll cover a little another portion of this in a minute. But what I want to mention here are the big rocks, because as a business owner, regardless of how much or how little you're intending to put into this, 2 leadership conferences and 2 boot camps, which are smaller regional local trainings, are what was always recommended to me when I began this business. And that's what I've always done. And you guys, not only has it grown my business, but it's grown who I am as a person. And so there's multiple benefits to investing in going to these. Our next conference is April 11th through the 13th in Sacramento. So you still have time to buy your tickets to go. And I would also say here, your weekly team calls are really crucial. So each team that's represented on here has their own weekly team calls. So find out, if you haven't already, from your sponsor when those are, and put those on your calendar, because that keeps you close to the fire. And if a coal stays close to the fire, it's warm, but the farther it gets away from the fire, it loses its heat and ultimately its purpose. So the closer you stay to the fire, the more you'll be able to share with passion and heart and remember why you're doing this. We all need that reminder. All right. Now, keep in mind also that life is going to happen, you guys. It does to all of us. So sometimes you're going to show up to these calls to bring the energy, and sometimes you're going to show up because you need it. So just lean into the community despite what's going on or how much you feel like you have or haven't done, because it's about more than that. All right. And then our 4th is follow-up, because when we invite people to take a look at what we have, follow-up is an act of love. It's being professional, and it's an integral part of what we do. Most people need 5 to 8 exposures before they sign up. And once again, people buy from those they like, know, and trust. So follow-up helps bring clarity of your love and support of them and where they're at. Okay. And then lastly, loving on your customers, because in those first few weeks, you're going to be sharing your story. That's what you're focused on, your excitement, sharing somebody else's story. And when you start getting those customers, you want to take good care of them and walk alongside them, because you're on this journey with them. And a lot of times those happy customers are going to become future partners with you in the mission, and they'll make an impact alongside you. So we want to ensure that they have a great experience. So those are a few of the things I wanted to share about the first 2 elements of success. And I'm going to turn it over to Christen, because she's going to share our last element of success.
Awesome. Thanks, Leah. And I shot you, and you can pull up the slides while I talk. I put them in the chat. That would be fantastic.
Perfect.
Does that work? Cool.
Yep.
All right. Well, my name is Christen Hillmer, and I'm just honored to be on. I'm going to jump into the third element of success, which is coachability. So this can be the hardest part for some people because, they've had success or they've had experience outside of network marketing. And maybe they think they know what it takes to be successful inside of a business, like network marketing, or like what we're doing. But it really is a different game. So being coachable is going to play a huge, huge role in this. And if there's anyone that's unmuted, maybe we can just click that for some background noise. But being coachable is super important. So, people who create success in network marketing treat it like business, bottom line. And in traditional business, entrepreneurs are attracted to franchises because franchises have systems in place, and someone has gone before you, created the success, and then, gets to teach you that, and so on and so forth. So this does not happen outside of the franchise model a lot. But in our system here, inside of this funnel, this really is our blueprint. So as you've got your pen and paper out, just sketch this down here. So it really starts with relationships. Everything about our business really is built on authentic relationships, connecting with people genuinely, loving on them, just caring about them, being a human. And then when it's appropriate and you've asked the right questions, seeing if they're interested in the mission, are they looking for improved health? Are they struggling with finances? These sorts of things. So the second part of the funnel as we move down is curiosity. And our goal is to really increase curiosity and to decrease resistance. So we teach our teams, to not use the words juice plus and blast that everywhere on social media. We're in this relationship business, right? Like what I talked about first. So what happens when we post something like the brand name is all people have to do is Google it, and they can read the good or the bad, and they get their answers put to rest. So when we're building relationships and conversations with them, people want to buy us, and we get to share the information that's relevant to them versus them getting lost in Google land, if you will. And our goal really is to create the trailer to the movie, not to tell them the whole thing, just create that curiosity. And then we move down into conversation. We say a little bit to a lot of people in a genuine fashion. So having that conversation and then being able to invite them to an event, we get to listen to their pain and lead them to an appropriate educational experience. And so once we've invited them to an event, whether it's in person, or maybe it's recorded on Zoom, just like this. It can be anything from a coffee date to meeting in a place like this online. So this part is that movie portion to the trailer that I mentioned before. There is so much power in events. And really people leave the event with an emotional charge. And that's our job. We want people walking away from something saying, I want that, I'm intrigued, I can do this. So during an event, prospects are usually asking three things. 1, can Juice Plus meet my desire? 2, are people really there to help me? And 3, can I do this? So, with helping people meet their desire, in an event, we get to address and cast a vision for income that someone can make. And can we help them? We get to address our pains and what we went through and how we've set goals and, how the freedom revolution works, and showing them that if I can do this, so can you. Then we move into follow-up. And really, follow-up and three-way connections are proof that we are there for them and that there is success. It's truly an act of love. Follow-up is an act of love. It's something that we can be really excited about and know that we're genuinely serving other people, and know that a lot of people need that, 6 to 8 exposures. And then the connection call, right? The three-way connection so that they can see the system. If you don't do it, they don't see it. And then they're going to be less coachable. So once we get on a connection call, we get to ask better questions to get better answers. And like, what was your biggest takeaway? What do you need to know to get started? What could sharing something like this do for you and do for others? And also get to ask, how did you get on this call? And allow them to say, well, I saw Leah made a post, so I reached out. Then Leah sent me a link to the video to watch. Are you following the funnel right now? And then we set up a 3-way call, following the funnel, right? And now we're here. So here we are. It's simplicity. And again, like just being coachable and following that system. So I want to go over 4 mantras that we really like to share and live by. And the first one is, the more you know, the slower you go. In the beginning, I thought I needed to know more. And we encourage people to, look for answers as people have questions. You don't have to know it all in the beginning. I still don't know it all. And when we try to be experts, that's what scares people. When you can say, I'm not sure, but I'll reach out and get that answer for you. It allows people to think or see that they can do it as well. So we encourage you by just being able to share your story, sharing links to various videos that we have or recordings that we've posted. And it's really a simple and beautiful tool. The second mantra is, understanding that we've got this great resource called GoPro. Get the hard copy of it, get the audible version of it, listen to it, get those 7 steps of becoming a professional in your mind, because the idea is that, you create your success. Your success is 100% your responsibility, not your upline, not your sideline, and definitely not your downline. And on the flip side, any failure is also your responsibility. My failure is my responsibility. We all have the same industry, the same company, the same marketing plan. And the only thing that varies is us. Are we using, those who are following the 3 keys that we're talking about have success. And the ones who don't usually aren't. At least not in a sustainable way. So if you need help, raise your hand. Put it up. We can't read your mind, so you have to ask, because people who show up, it's like a chess game. You make a move, I make a move, and we're not mind readers. So it doesn't matter if your goal is to make a $500 paycheck or a $10,000 paycheck. We're going to help you just the same. And so we're in this with you and excited to work alongside of you. And the third part is that our goal is to develop reps into leaders. The greatest thing that we can do for our team is to get them to be as independent as possible. We're here every step along the way, but at some point, people need to become independent and take ownership. I didn't get into this business to have staff. And I'm sure you didn't either. So it's really exciting to see people blossom and take off on their own path with these skill sets. And lastly, certainty is power. And the most certain person in the room always wins. And at the end of the day, people, they're not really buying Juice Plus or the virtual franchise. They are buying you and your confidence and your excitement and your vision. And, maybe you're still leaning into your upline. So lean into that and let them be excited and confident, because you're leaning into that story. And really, our business is built upon confidence in 4 areas. So I want you to write down I gave the last one away. Product, company, industry, as in network marketing, and self. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I want you to list, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being confident, what is your confidence in the product, the company, the industry, and yourself? And I want you to share that with your sponsor so that they know where you're at and that they can share tools to help you in each of these areas. So answer that authentically. And then if you need to build certainty in our profession, please check out the documentary, Rise of the Entrepreneur. It's that's done by Eric Worre. Again, Rise of the Entrepreneur. It's fantastic. And then there's an audio called Building Your Network Marketing Business. Building Your Network Marketing Business by Jim Rohn, R-O-H-N. 2 fantastic things. In fact, you know what? I'm going to just put this in for those of you who are live on the call right now. inside of the chat section so that you can be able to copy and paste that. Cool. So lastly, let's reflect, back to where we started, desire and what's possible for you, and that we want to attach a dollar amount to where we want to go so things can be tangible. So Leah, let's go to that next slide here. And so each of these circles, and you'll want to write this down, each of these circles represents somebody. So you being the yellow circle in this model, you have 15 to 20 gold standard orders, okay? So you have 15 to 20 gold standard orders, which is the quad. So all 4 capsules and 1 shake a day, okay? So when you have 15 to 20 and you teach 3 other people to do that, and Leah, it's a little, I can't quite see the bottom of the screen there. There we go. Perfect, thank you. So basically you teach 3 other people to do this. This is what we call a 3 club, and $1,000 makes a big difference in a lot of people's lives. So we like to help paint the picture. You help create that 15 to 20 customer base, and you teach A, B, and C to do the exact same. I don't know who would not be excited about having an additional $12,000 a month. So let's take it one step further and see how this compounds. So on the next slide here, you teach person A and person B. Each of them now saw you made $1,000, and so you teach them how to do the same. So essentially, each of them become 3 clubs, right? You can see 1, 2, and 3. So the 1, 2, and 3 below each of them have created that 15 to 20 customer base. Person A did that, person B did that. Now you are an 8 club because there are 8 circles below you creating that same customer base and walking alongside of their customers. So now your monthly paycheck is $2,500. Annually, that's about $30,000 a year. Pretty darn awesome. And starting to replace, paychecks like a lot of beginning teachers and things like that. Okay, on the next slide here, we'll kick it up a notch, is C felt left out. They wanted to be a 3 club as well. So now they jump in, you teach them how to do the exact same thing, which puts you at a 12 club, $3,300 a month, and now you're at $40,000 a year. And lastly, let's look at what it takes to become a national marketing director, which both Leah and I have the privilege and pleasure of being, is teaching 5 people below you how to create 3 clubs. And now you can see that you're making somewhere between, depending on how strong the legs are and where things fall, between $4,000 and $6,000 a month. And annually, it's about $60,000, which is a really exciting spot to be in. So when we say get your numbers clear, really make sure they're clear and go back to your sponsor so you can make sure that you've got these clear pictures written down. So Leah, I'm going to pass it back to you to close us down.
Awesome, girl. That was incredible. And thank you for just making that. I hope everybody else just got the sense of like the simplicity and the possibility of what can happen in our business. And as we close out, I just want to give everybody a quick, I'll give everybody just a quick overview. So we covered the 3 main elements of success, which were desire, consistency, and being coachable. And then Christen shared about the income potential and what it looks like to make $1,000 a month. So, and she clearly shared more than that, but that is often a very common goal that people really latch onto as something that would make a real difference in their life initially. And so if that goal resonates with you, like it does a lot of people, we want to give you a quick picture of what it looks like, because having a clear picture makes your actions and your outcomes more certain. So first of all, you will want your pen and paper for this. So you would have a customer base, like we already shared, of at least 15 to 20 gold standard customers. So that's the quad and 1 shake a day. And you're going to teach 3 people on your team to do the same thing. So that's what we call a 3 club. And at that activity level, what it would look like on a weekly basis is reaching out to about 4 people a day 5 days a week, intentionally inviting them to learn about our mission or our product with your sponsor. And I'll mention that in just a second, but you're using the funnel that we just talked about in terms of how to connect with people relationally, following up, etc. So about 4 times every week, you're wanting to connect somebody that you've invited to learn more with your sponsor so that they can paint a picture of what this business can be for them, this mission, this product opportunity, and they can better understand if it's something that would resonate with them and that they would love to be a part of. So that can look a lot of ways. It could be on a Zoom like this. It could be a phone call. It could be a Facebook message or a text chat, but you're just connecting them somehow. And so in other words, when you break it down, it's very doable on a daily basis. And what you just want to keep in mind is basically that's 16 connections a month, that where you're connecting people with your sponsor and you're bringing somebody else in to move the conversation along and help get clarity on where that person is and how you can best serve them. So just remember, this call happens every week. So we encourage you to attend periodically. In the beginning, we encourage people to put this on their calendar at least 3 times, choose 3 Mondays that work really well. And then from that point forward, you can just attend as it helps you. Repetition helps you go deeper in these concepts. And it also is a great tool that you can use to bring your new team members so that they can have a strong start too. So that's all we've got, you guys. Thanks for being on, and we hope to see you guys next week. Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you.